Yes. So, good evening, everyone. Today's agenda is to make you aware of, probably you may or may not know this. You see, the title itself says version controlling using GitHub. So, let me start with a simple query. May I know how many of you are using GitHub, or what do you know about GitHub? Can anyone? Your simple answers. Nice. Anyone? What do you mean by GitHub? We'll start with this. A simple question. What do you mean by GitHub? Simple answers. It's a place where we can share our codes, source code sharing platform. Someone for source code to dump or use. It has repositories. Yes. So I can say it as simply, no issues. What you may or may not know, the answers which you are giving out is pretty correct. It's a simple, right, an open source platform for hosting and collaborating on Git repositories. You can say that as, yes, that is a project management platform, or it's a something like an open source platform where you can create your account for free of cost, and you can also make most of your repositories online. Not something like whatever you do here, whatever you do in your system, it is not something like you only should work it out, because GitHub is mostly used by not only professionals. Now students will also start using it because they want to project their ideas and they want to project their projects online. That is the reason nowadays in 21st century GitHub has become something like face of a person. It's not resume, or it's not something, whatever the thing present on your paper is not. That is 20th century. Now we are in 21st century. So GitHub is the face of a person. Exactly, I can say if he is from technical background, as I'm spacing out specifically, if he is from a technical background, whether he's a student, BTech, or an MTech guy, or a degree guy who's pursuing his technical education. Nowadays GitHub is a face of the person. So we thought of making a simple webinar of how does GitHub is useful to a person irrespective of any technical knowledge, and how he can use GitHub, and what is the difference between Git and GitHub. Yes. So let me start with the simple thing. Let's first, so by the end of this session, you'll be making sure that you can upload your own files to the GitHub account, and you can also make changes in your system with those files, and those changes will be permanently available, and you can share it with some person and you can see those changes. We have some technical terms for them. You'll be understanding those technical terms also. Yes, the recorded session is available. We'll share the recorded session by the end of the day, as we do daily whenever we conduct webinars. Right, so that's how it's an open source platform where you can make use of it. And mostly when I'll be downloading, it will tell you what are the companies which are using those kind of this open source repositories to store or to host their projects. Because this makes this pandemic time, now GitHub is also giving out free for teams. Previously they used to have some other features. Now GitHub is also making free for the teams who can work collaboratively. That means if I share my code, my team will be working it out and they can do it free of cost. Someone may make changes and someone may commit those changes, and I can accept those changes and I can see those changes. So that's what it is, something like a collaborative work, because a single person cannot build his own thing. He needs a team. So GitHub is for people working together as a team, right? So let's go for the things. The first thing is, I'll share you the link. You need to download that thing. Just first we'll be downloading Git, so that we'll be starting the session. To make changes from your command, so it's already in sharing. Yes, we'll be downloading it. You need to download Git from the location. I'm sharing you the link. So that is the link. You can see Git slash SCM. SCM stands for Source Code Management. Just open the link once. I'll let you know what it is. Yes, did you go through the link? We'll first open the link. I'll let you know what we are going to do on that. Yes, you can copy that link and paste it in the browser. There's a pretty much difference between Git and GitHub, because GitHub is something like it's an platform where we can make all these changes with the help of Git, where we'll be downloading this Git to our system, and we'll go for what we say the name of a webinar, version control using GitHub, because version control is nothing but whatever the changes we do make. See, we create a file, we make changes to a file. Suppose if you are building your own web blog, you make some changes, and if you host them, you go to your GoDaddy portal and you make some changes, and you try to again host it direct there. Yes, so just open this link and you can click on Windows if you are using Windows. The main difference between the setup file and the portable file is setup needs to be installed, right? .exe for Windows format, and the other, if you use Linux or Mac based format, that is different. Portable is you need not install it. You can go in any way if you're having previous knowledge on that. So what we refer is you need to download it from this location. Click on Windows, right? You can see it here, that will be downloading it. Yes, if you are good at portable, then you can go ahead. What we prefer is we make everything from our command prompt itself. Whatever files I make, I can create, that may be my Python files or HTML files or any kind of files. I can use Git bash, something like I can commit them directly to my repository and my team could work. That is the difference between version control and centralized control. I'll be showing them. If it is downloaded, just don't install. First, let's see what we are going to cover in today's session. Yes, if it is downloaded, so we'll be seeing the simple simple something like what are the, how is the workflow is going to do, and how we can make some simple changes within the files in our system. And at the end of session, as for every webinar, we are learning some practical thing, right? So in today's session also, we all have resumes, and if you're working people or student, your resume is mandatory, right? So we make our resume something like a digital resume. It's not something like a paper resume. We'll make it as digital resume. That's the end of the session. Type Git and check versions. If you're already having pre-installed Git, then that is fine. We'll start with the procedure. If you are new to this thing, we'll install, right? So let me first make it clear, what do you mean by version controlling? See, this is a sample picture where I'm using my project according to time. See, if you see the image, what is the first thing your mind strikes? Can anyone? What is the first thing you're able to understand? Dates, okay? Yes, straight point answer, the dates. What do you mean by dates? They're over there. Development in profile, adding features. Exactly. That means I started making changes within the simple thing where first I have built, yes, progress, tracking, right? So first I have built a simple page, home page, and next I'm adding user profile. Then I'm adding some more changes and some more content towards my pages, because I want to make my profile or my company visible online, so that nowadays if we talk about anything, what we do, we just take out mobile and we start searching for it, right? If you see the same picture, the changes are being made from time to time. So that's what the version controlling is, nothing but where you make changes timely, and that changes should replicate according to the time manner, and we should also track who are making the changes. So previously we used to have centralized, you can see here, the centralized version controlling where only the master is having the control over it, whereas the other people doesn't have any control over it. That is the first kind of versions. Before Git was used, we used to have something like source management platforms where dynamically people can make change, but until and unless the master should accept it. Whereas, see, those are locked, something like when the masters will accept, until only the lock will open. But nowadays, we are of this distributed version control systems, which is none other than Git. We are having some other wide source distributed version control systems, which includes bucket and master and some other things. So nowadays we are of this distributed version control management systems. What do you mean by distributed? Distributed in the sense we distribute something, right? We distribute feeds, we distribute everything. In the same way, distributed version control management system is nothing but it is open to anyone, but they work together as a team and they make some changes. Suppose if I'm working on a website, I have my project online. If it is online, I can make some changes, or else if it is offline, what do? I should share my files. I should share my files to my friend who is working, to my teammate through a server or through pen drive. You have some storage devices and you do the same thing, right? But if he is working some other way, if he is working some other location, you need not depend on mails or anything. You just make your project, upload it, and he can make some changes and you can accept those changes and we can do all those things. That's where distributed version control has been emerged. And out of this, you can see this one, this has got its wide importance. Git, which was something like not in 2020, that was past way 2005 itself. And the founder of it is also none other than the founder of Linux, who is the person who built Linux kernel is also the founder of the Git, because he faced a simple problem where the developers are working towards it, and he wanted to make sure that their activities should be monitored and their activities should be considered. Linus Torvalds, he's the man behind this kernel and he's the man behind this. Yes, we'll be discussing those things, because until and unless we accept those changes will not be replicated. That is not, even if it is open source. See, we are into this open source arena. Even we learn with this Python, everything is an open source platform. That doesn't mean it doesn't have security. Even whatever the projects we upload, we'll be making it restricted. If anyone tries to, so if my project is online, you can make it as public and private. That's how the things are. See, if you, what are the companies using them, and see, you can see this companies and projects using Git. The first name you can see, the biggest player of the tech. You can see the Google, Facebook, Microsoft, LinkedIn, Netflix. These all uses Git because that's an open source platform. That doesn't mean they are using this as cloud. They are just using these Git repositories as their hosting providers. They upload their projects and their team work together and they try to make changes and they make it online. See, why we cannot see means they are in private, because if that is public, anyone can access those changes and anyone can build their own projects, right? That's how these things, data breach is being happening. So this is all the background. If you are interested towards it, you can study the documentation and all the things. Now let's get back to the things. Hope every one of you have installed .exe files. Now let's install it. I think you can see my screen. You have the .exe file. We'll have some simple procedures. We can have GitHub desktop or anything, but Git bash is very much pretty easier. That is a desktop version. Whatever we can do, we'll go with the command ways. That can be easy for Linux or Unix or Mac Windows based system. You just click on next. So this is the location where that will be downloaded. See, you can see the suggestion, at least 250.7 MB of free disk space is required. Click on next. If you're already installed, then that is fine. Just click on next. Use Vim the ubiquitous text editor. No issues, you can go ahead. This is the recommended Git from the command line, because just click on Git from command line, because this step is very, very recommended. If you are downloading Git, you should have your GitHub account. Nothing something like you are trying to make a call without having SIM in your mobile. So that is how funny it is. You should have your GitHub account and you'll try to connect your files remotely to GitHub. That is why Git is used. GitHub is a platform for hosting and collaborating. Git is an open source distributed version control system. Next, use the OpenSSL library. No issues with that. Windows style, you can, the recommended files are simple. Just don't do anything. The default terminal, just click on the next one. Enable file system caching, file credentials. We just install. No need to adjust any path environment. It automatically recognizes. Because we made the recommended step as git to command prompt. If you are using any other softwares, this will automatically arrange itself, because in your environment variables, this will automatically adjust. Because whenever I want to remotely move some folders to GitHub, I'll go to that folder first. That's the procedure we are going to do today. Yes, automatically, and that's the reason I said you just follow the steps over there and try to read what is in the installation over there. Because if you don't want to adjust the path, it will automatically, you can choose the other step. Yep, nice. So then this is not needed, then you can click on next. That's it. Git has been downloaded, and you can also create desktop shortcuts. It's fine. But let me first make you understand the difference between Git and GitHub, because that is the main thing to understand. Because Git is a software, GitHub is a service. There is a pretty much difference between software and a service, because GitHub is nothing but it's a platform for hosting, which is as an open source, and you can see the symbol of it, that is an octocat musket. There's a story behind that thing. If you're interested, you can read about it. That is an octocat musket, which is a divine thing. So Git is something like where it's just very software for making requests, and where we commit the data and we try to remotely connect to GitHub account, because it is a command line tool. Yes, that's the reason I said if you're interested, you can go ahead. Mona, that's the name it is. And it is a tool to manage different versions of edits made to a file in a repository, because repository is something like, it is a key term when we talk about any changes we made to Git, and Git will store all the information, and the combination of these two steps is nothing but a repository. Whatever the files and directories you create in your system, that may be project or any files, and whatever the Git is recording about the information, because we'll be having some areas, working area, staging area, where we'll be moving from one system to GitHub. So that is the reason GitHub is a service, Git is a software. It is installed in our system, GitHub is hosted on the web. We'll do two things today. First thing is, we'll be using Git to make sure some simple changes within our files, and we'll remotely connect our file to our GitHub account, so that we can directly make changes from here and we can see it online. That is the reason you need to have first thing GitHub account. Probably I hope everyone have GitHub accounts. If you don't have, just make sure you go to GitHub. You go to GitHub, you can see the first page. Please try to create the account in the meanwhile. As I'm already logged in, it will be logging to the account. So make sure you create the account. You can have just simple sign up form. Yes, whoever is not having the GitHub account, please do it in the meanwhile. Yes, someone asked me regarding the GitHub account. You just go to github.com. If you are working as a team, you just give out your name. We can change out the usernames and everything. No issues with that. Just create. As I'm already having GitHub account, I'm not doing this step. I'll be skipping it out. I just sign in. If you're not having, you can use your personal name and your personal ID. You can also use GitHub desktop app, because we are trying to make changes from the command prompt itself. Because Git is nothing but it's an open source version control management system where we can directly make changes. GitHub desktop app, that is a GUI based one. You can do that thing also. That is the reason I said the difference between Git and GitHub. You can have any username and give out your mail ID. give out your password. That's it. Nothing else is required. Once login, we'll get the thing. We'll come to this part at the end, but now it is not needed. Yes, if your account is created, that is fine. Well and good. Nice. Now let's get back to the thing. I hope everyone is having GitHub account by now. You just go to github.com and just create your account. It is pretty much simple. Yep. So let's start the things. First, you just open your command prompt and search for Git. You should get GitCMD application, Git GUI, Git Bash. Git Bash is for making your any folder directly going into the GitHub. First, let's go for GitCMD. Did you get this? You just click on it. You can use this, or else you can also go for your command prompt and directly using it. Is it visible for you? Yes, okay, I'll be going it for command prompt itself. You can go for GitCMD also, no issues. So we can also merge GitHub, Git software to RStudio and some other softwares because it's a source code management software. The only thing you need to check is first type this git version. You just click on it. You should get Git version, the present version of Git you are using. Did you get this thing? I hope the first step is clear, right? Git version. Yep. Next, we should tell Git that we are making the access. So Git config. That means you are trying to configure. CONFIG Git config. Simple. You are telling that you are using Git. You need to make sure that Git should understand that you are making changes. That's the reason I asked you. You should have GitHub account. Git config this is a one-time step. You need not remember the steps. That means something like once you logged into your Facebook in your mobile, you need not log in again and again, right? Because it will open from cache. In the same way, once you need to make sure that your system recognizes you. Yep. So git config global user.name. You give out your username in quotations, I mean in strings. You give your username. I give my username in double quotes. Double quotes is mandatory. You should prompt to the next line. Double quotes is mandatory. You should prompt to the next line. You should not get any errors over there. Git config. You are configuring. That means you are setting the name you want to be attached to your transactions. Make sure you give out your name as it is for easy understanding. Don't change out the name, whatever you gave in the username. Yes, the next step is git config we need to give out your user email. User.email, because the log history will be based on this. Which person is making changes? So give out your email ID, whatever you gave for your GitHub account. That should prompt to next line. Your Git is able to recognize you. Let me test it. How should I test it? I'll directly write git config user.name. It should return the username which I gave. What username I gave? Saket-26. And now I need to check what the mail I gave. Git config user dot email. This is a one-time one. It will ask for your username and email. Yep. Is this done? That means you gave it in a perfect way, and you can create any folder and we'll see how the changes will be applicable on that. What is the difference between the working area and the tagging area? Then we'll connect our Git to the repository to GitHub. Yes, I hope this is done. Now let me go to desktop and create a folder directly here. So how do I do? CD desktop. How do you create a directory? mkdir. Make a directory today. Yes, so that is your directory. I want to make sure I need to initialize my repository because we have installed the Git and we are giving out our credentials. And now with the help of Git, what we can do? That's what we are going to do now. Now you can create a directory with the help of mkdir because in the childhood we learn these DOS commands, but we do not care about them. But still, they play a very key role in whatever system you are using. Yes, is a folder created. Now, in this, I want to make sure I create a simple. Let's go for a simple Python file. Notepad python.py. Let's create any file because I want to make changes to that file with the help of Git. Notepad. I'll give some dummy name because if I give Python, no need to have Python software. Don't just I'm giving a Python file. If you want, you can create a text file over there. Notepad my file .py. If you want, you can give out the text file. Just some file. That's it. You can write anything on that. No issues. You can create any text file with the help of Notepad space some myfile.txt, myfile.py, myfile.java, myfile.c, anything. If you are trying to use that file, you need to have the software. Other than that, because I'm not making any changes, just I'm trying to make sure that how Git is going to work for that. Yes, you create with the help of notepad myfile.py. Yes, just I'm giving print. Good evening, everyone. The simple thing I want to do. That's it. You just write some content in that file and just leave it. Just I want to make sure I need to initialize my repository first, because what I said the repository means, repository is nothing but it's a combination of files and directories that you create and edit, and Git will record all those projects. So the combination of both of these is a repository. So now my main intention is to initialize my repository. I need to go for git init. So you can see you need to give git init. Init stands for initialization. Turning my, see, you can write any content in it. No issues with what I am writing. You create some text file in that folder. That's it. Because you need to have some content. That's it. Whatever you want to write is in Python file or text file or anything. You write some content. That's it. So git init. This is nothing but we are turning our existing directory into GitHub repository. You can go to that folder. So I'm in desktop, right? I'll go to my today folder. You can see a folder created, right? Can you see the folder created? .git, because I gave git init. Init stands for initialization, turning your existing directory into a GitHub repository. So don't make any changes. Don't touch this folder because that is where our repositories will be making changes. Don't try to use this and don't try to make anything. Git init. So now, so git init is my first command to initialize the directory into a repository. Nice. So you go for git status. See, you get something over here. On branch master, no commits yet. So what do you mean by commit generally? That is the reason it is telling no commits yet. That means your Git doesn't know this thing. You just initialize your repository and it is saying, see, untracked files, use git add file to include in what? And you can see a shortcut command, use git add to track. So untracked files is in red color. Now that will be in green color once we make some changes. Now we need to move these files from working area to staging area, because staging area is something like where your Git will take all those things. This is only in our working area, that is in our working directory. You need to move that thing from working area to staging area. I mean staging or staging, S-T-A-G-I-N-G, staging area. What do you mean by a stage? A platform, right? So that is my platform where I need to make sure this myfile.py should be moved. It is present in your system. You need to make a move of it. It is giving me some suggestions, right? Git add. So click on that. You need to go for same thing, git add dot. That should execute. That should go to next line. Dot means all. So if you give git add, if you are having single file or multiple files or hundreds or thousands of files, all files will be started their movement towards staging area. That should move to the next line. Is it done? That should move to the next line. Git add dot. So git commit. Commit stands for you're making some commitment, and you can also write some message so that, see, if I'm a working guy, if I make some changes to this file, my friend should observe, right? So for that purpose, you give out some message, my first commit. You can write anywhere, you can give out in, but you should give out in quotations. This is my first message, and press enter. You can see some message over there, right? Master root commit, first commit. Master, one file changed, one insertion, create mode, some 1,644 myfile.py. You get some description over there. Don't worry about the description, because your file is now moved from working area to staging area. How can I prove it? You just press git status. Yes, staging area is something like where your Git will understand that you are keeping those files in its repository, because this is your directory. That will be your repository. You can see once you have made a commit, git commit -m. M stands for your message first commit. That means you, whatever the changes you made, those are committed. So git status now will give you clean, nothing to, your status is clear, because in the above line you can see myfile.py is whatever the file that is in red color. Now it is nothing to commit, because you can check these things. You should get this thing. That means whatever the file you created, that is moved from working area to staging area. How can I see that? I can simply go my log, because log is something like, it gives you the status of your files, whatever you have done. Say git commit /m, first commit you have given, you gave git log, you are getting this 40 digit something like standard key, SHA key, secure hash key, and who is the author? This is my name and my mail ID, at what time. That's how I can see the log of the persons who are making changes. This, what is the change I made? Only first commit. That means I have only added that file. Git log will give you the log of your files. Whatever the things which you have made, it will give you the status of your file. Status is different, log is different. Status is where are your files? Are they in working area or staging area? Because if they are in staging area, it will give you nothing to commit. Yes, did you get this thing when you gave git log? Now you can also create one more file and you can check the changes, because I gave only first commit. If you try to make any changes in that, if you open this file, or you can, as we are in the same directory, what I'll do, I'll create some notepad index.txt file, some simple text file. I'll write hello. You write some dummy content, whatever the content it is. You create another text file or any file, because now you'll understand the status. So if I give again git status, you can see one more thing, because you have created another file and you can see the changes over here now. Index.txt is in red color. That means it should be included. Did you create another file so that you can make some changes? Because in the next thing, we'll be making our directory to repository. Now you can also do this thing. Git add, you can go for dot, the simple command you can remember every time. Yes. Now if you see git status again, see, you can see what is the new file. Index.txt has been in green color. Red color in the sense the status is in working area. If you see that is in green color, changes to be committed, git restore staged file to unstaged. You can use this command to not include that file, but I want this file to be included. So what I should do? Git add star dot, in the sense you may have any number of files that will be moved from working area to staging area once you commit. You need to commit every time, because you should understand who are making the changes. Git commit -m. I can give my message as second commit. You can get again one file changed, one insertion. Git commit -m. -m stands for message and your message, what you can write. Now if you see git log, you can see two commits at different time. Yes, that's how we can make some changes towards it. Yes, can you see that? So git log will give you the log of your files. So second commit is made at particular time. So first commit with some specific key is made at particular time. This key is useful when you go for searching out the specific log, because if I want to check at what time specifically my changes are being made. I hope every one of you have resumes, right? Now what I'll do is, we'll make a simple resume with the help of simple .html file. First, how many of you are having Sublime text in your system so that we can make changes directly, or I can directly give you a .html file? Hope you are having Sublime text, right? If you don't have, we'll do a simple thing. Yes, VS or anything, just edit the HTML file. You can edit the simple HTML file. If you don't have, you can just directly use this tiny URL. Anything to edit you can use that link, because what I'll do is, I'll create my resume a digital one. That means I can make my own blog with the help of a simple HTML file. That means I need not carry my paper resume everywhere. I can, if I want to send my resume to someone, what I'll do, I'll project that thing with the help of my GitHub profile. That is the best way now. I hope you can, if you open that thing, you'll have a simple HTML file. Now what I'll do is, yes, you can open that link and you can have the simple HTML file. So first what I'll do is, I'll create a simple directory called as my resume. Okay, it is already existing. I'll give my resume. If you want, you can do in that folder itself, but I want to make a separate folder so that that folder is separate, this folder is separate. I'll go to, so if you're having Sublime text, just create a new folder, or if you want in that folder only, you can make those changes. But what I'll do is, within 10 minutes, we'll create our own digital resume and we'll host it with the help of GitHub. So I'll move to that directory. I'll create simple index file, index.html, and I'll write start coding in this. I have already given you the link so that you can directly open it, and if you are making any changes, you should have any text editor, or you should have Sublime text, or you should have anything so that you can edit the files. Am I clear? Yes, is it clear till now? If you are having Sublime text, then that is well and good. If not, no issues. Just I'll go to that folder where I have created my resume. I'll select that folder. If you are having Sublime text, just create a folder, because what I'm trying to do is, we'll be just making your digital resume, and with the help of GitHub, we'll make a remote repository. That's what we're going to do in next 15 minutes. If you're not having, you can just use the HTML file which I gave you, .html. Yes. Now, if you are good at that thing, you can write directly. Yes. So if you are good at that thing, then you can open Sublime text, or you can directly use the .html file I gave you. So I want to make it something like bit responsive, and I want to add some stylings. If you attend the previous webinars, I gave you a shortcut, right? You can go to Bootstrap, getbootstrap.com, go to that website. If you're attended the previous webinar, you know how to add the CSS stylings and all the things, because we need to have some smart thinking also. You need not reinvent the same old thing. Should try to invent the better thing. So I'll copy the CSS styling so that my web page should look in a decent manner. I add the JavaScript. You just add the scripts over there. That's it. So to look in a better way, you can add them in a single lines. Just go to bootstrap.com and down and copy the CSS styling and the JavaScript styling, because I want to make some digital resume, because I want every webinar we should understand something like you're learning some a bit different thing. Now you want to have your name, your contact details, your IDs and everything, right? Now I'll start writing over there. I give my name. The first one will be in my name, right? If you want to, I'll be just giving my name, email ID, phone number, and my interest will be giving out so same things. Give away a title. Then you start writing from here, because my title should be obviously that will be right side or left side. And next the thing is I'll give my names and all the things. So under script you have title, right? You give the title whatever you want, then go to body, then write some simple line breaks, and so that you can add these tags so that you are adding some divisions. It should look something like it should have mobile number and all the things. Add this class as containers, because I want to add my profile, my name, my details, and my image. It should be in the something like grid view. That is only possible in a simple way with the help of Bootstrap. That is the reason we are giving out the containers. I hope this container part is clear, right? Because we are just, I want to make sure I have a text and I have an image. So for that purpose, we are doing it. Then we'll use Git to make the connection. Our intention is to make you understand whatever the files we can upload, not only the images or not only your projects. We can also make sure that as collaborative sharing. Rows, and I define my columns, because I want to have two rows, something like I want to have my context and my image, my context, something like grid view. If you see generally websites will be having these three, right? I want to have some text, I want to have this image. So I gave here COL stands for columns and MD for responsive, because whatever the your blog you make, that will be responsive. You can open it also in mobiles. Then I give my headings. You can don't worry about the syntax, I mean the spacings over there. I start giving my name. Let's be pretty fast over here, because these are the simple opening things and closing tags which will automatically suggest you. I hope you are following. If you're having any issue, you can let me know. You write about yourself. Yes, once it is done, we'll show you. We'll upload this thing. H5. Yes, I need to close a tag. Then I want to have the same length. So yes, you can change. That's the reason I have shared you. You can change the file which I've given you. You can open that as an HTML file. You can open that thing and you can make changes. But to understand that we are making it live, I am doing everything here because it needs to be somewhat practical for you. So I gave my mobile number as I'm giving same tag, because I want to have them of same order. Just in next 10 minutes, we are about to experience something different. Close the tag. If you are pretty comfortable, then you can use that HTML file I gave you. So opening the class and closing the class. Then this is for your rows and you should give for columns. Now place another division tag and I give my class is equal to. So why I am giving column 6? Because I want to have only two views. In a grid view, I should have my text and my image. So for that purpose, I'm giving COL MD. MD stands for responsive mobile also. So that is the reason I gave MD over there. And here I'll be giving my image, so that first I need to have an image over there. We'll go for that thing. Yes, image source. For this, what you need to have, you need to have the same image in the same folder. So let me place some folder, some image demo, and I want to add 2 images. Make sure whatever the files you are having, make sure those are in the same folder, because if those are not present in the same folder, you will not get the images. Make sure you do that thing. So I know the file name. You give out your file name here, that is of JPG format, and that's a dummy image, demo image. I need to give the size for it also, because this name should appear, it should read with that name, demo image, and the width of it, I'll make sure my width is, you need not type because it will give you suggestions. You just go for the things which will save the time for us. So height is equal to 300. This is how I close the tags. Then close your div tag and close your above tag which you have declared. Yep. Then this is for only single image. Now I need to make this image appear so that I can have another image. This is for single image. If you are pretty good at one image, then that is fine. Then if you want to have another image, you go for other thing. Now I add my brace tag so that my content should have and my image should have. My content should have and my image should have. So BR will be giving for spaces, right? Between your image and matter, matter and image. That's how the web pages are. That means, so I'll add the same thing here. You can copy this entire thing, or you can directly go ahead, div tag. You can copy the entire thing. That's a simple smart work you can do over there, because you'll be replicating the same tag over there, because you need to have content and image. Now you can make changes within that. Yes, I hope you got my point, because I don't want to repeat the same content over there. I can just give out class column space MD space 6 is for making sure that you have your text and image and same text and image. So I have another image. So that name is HPE. Make sure whatever the images you are having, and that width I want to adjust it to some 450 to 300 and close this tags. Just to make sure that you're having images, and no issues with that. Whatever you have, single image or one image, if you are good at, then you can go for one image. That is, I gave 2 images. Now I go for simple headings. That means I want to add my content. Enough for images. I'll add my about myself and my research interest. So you can add over there. Yep. So before the tag, just don't worry about the type things. Yes. So here I can write my own content, whatever you want to write. Just a simple thing we are able to finish off, and we'll be seeing it online. So you can write whatever content you write, whatever the fields you are interested. I write about myself, machine learning, deep learning. I give out my interested domain, make simple things smarter. That's what I want to give it. Just if you want, you can include anything that's your interest. Then you can also add some other thing. You should not make it dummy, right? You can add some other thing towards it. You can add some other languages, for the same tag. So I want to add my known programming languages. If you want, you can add some other things, just go for it. And I want to add my technologies also, or technologies or tools, I can say. It depends on your interest, whatever you want to use. Yes, so you can name them. I'm naming my own things. You can go ahead what you want, just to make sure the page looks pretty good, not the simple things. Yes. Now just close it. I hope you are following, right? Just add the simple things, and you just go ahead and close the tags which we have declared above. Yes. So close them, which we have declared above. If you're not having any background knowledge on this, then just don't worry about that thing. I want to make sure my page looks pretty good. So I want to add footer also for it. So something like you can see that copyrights reserved, right? You can add that thing also for this footer. You can add the division for it because that division plays a very key role how to make sure the content is divided at the bottom. Sorry, you should, yeah, now it goes good. And I want to add some text over there. You go for span, and I want to what do I want to add? I want to add some copyrights reserved. For that, you add the text over there. Once it is finished, we'll have all the color changes. Don't worry about that thing if you're having some background knowledge on that. No issues with that. The class should not, the span tag should not be closed over there. Text hyphen muted is for making sure that thing is appeared at the bottom. What do I want to add here? At the rate 2020, I want to make sure my copyrights are reserved because that is my page. I need to close it. Yeah, it's done. Yep. So you can see the division tag closed and you need to close the footer. Yep, that's done. Your page is ready. You just gave out your name and your things. I have already sent you the HTML code in that. You can directly make sure that thing. You can directly add that thing to GitHub. No issues with that. That's the reason I gave you the entire code. If you want, you can make changes. Now, if it is done, let's save it and let's go for connecting this to the GitHub repository in the next 5 minutes. I've already sent you that thing in the tiny URL, tinyurl.com, which I've already kept in the chat box message. You can go for it. Now, let's do simple thing. Now let's open CMD within. Is this clear? Is your HTML page ready? Whatever I have sent, and you can also, if you are good at this creating pages, you can directly do it. Yep. Is it done? Just within 5 minutes, you can see this web page online. I hope everyone is done, or else you can also copy the same thing from the, I'm also again pasting the URL. You can check it from this. Someone asked. You can go to tinyurl.com WebGit. Yes. So let's close all these things and let's directly go to that folder. Yes. So, but before going that thing, what you need to make sure, you need to have .git will be automatically created, but make sure you create a repository in your GitHub. Yes. You create a repository in GitHub. If it is done, go to your GitHub account. Please make sure you follow these steps. Within 10 minutes, you are able to make it live. Not 10 minutes. Once it is done, we can directly go ahead. If you have your GitHub account, you can see the top right corner. You can see the plus symbol. Yes. Create new repository. Click on that. Yes. Write your repository name. Write anything. I'll write resume, or I can give out anything. I can give directly Saket-26 because my main aim is to make sure I can directly open that in the format of URL with the help of your name.github.io. That should be available. Saket-26.github.io. That is the name I want to create to my repository because I would like to connect this thing to remote so that I can see this .html file online, so that I can share it to anyone to see the resume, to see myself online. If someone may create some blog or anything, yes, you can give everything or nothing there, but you should make some name. If you want to see it online, you should go for github.io. That is the extension, and make it as public. This is optional. If you want to make sure that your HTML file should be visible online, make sure that you give your username here directly because it will not host over there. Yes, you give over your username .github.io so that whatever the files you want to connect remotely, you can give out any name. But for this, I want to make sure my repository is online, so that if I click that URL, I should see the file present in it. So that is the reason I am giving my username .github.io, that is available. And don't do anything, just keep it as public and don't click anything, just create repository. Just go for it. See, these are the commands which we follow, or we can use this remote one. You just copy this thing, we'll follow these simple steps, right? Is the repository created? Within 5 minutes, you are able to see the thing online. Yes, is the repository created? Right? Now we'll use the simple steps to make the commits online. So I'll go to my folder and yes, what is my folder name? My folder name is my resume. Yes, this is the folder where you have created index.html. Open command prompt. Yes, just open the command prompt. The first step is you need to initialize git init. Yes, that is always the first step because you are trying to initialize. Because initialization is the first step, you need to make sure that you make changes. Git init. So if I see some status or whatever, you see git status, see you're having 3 things in red color. What does that mean? They are not included. Then what you should do? You should go for adding them. You can go for git add dot. Git add dot. So that will be executed to next line. Is it done till here? You can see the red lines. If you see the status here, you can see those are in green color. See, changes to be committed. Use git rm cached file to one stage, new file, new file. Red color is in the working area. These are trying to make from working area to staging area. You are just adding them. You are not moving them. When you start commit, git commit your message. You can give out your message. So I'll go for my general messages. Commit. See, 3 files changed. Create mode hp.png, index.html. I think you can see them, right? Now if you give again git status, everything is clean. Within next 5 minutes, you are about to finish that thing. Yep. So next, the next step is you need to go for git remote. Yes. If you open your GitHub repository, wherever your folder you are present, you can add those things. Git remote, add origin. You just copy this simple thing. You don't do anything. You just copy that thing. Is it clear? You just go to your repository. It will ask for quick setup or this .http or SSH file or repository to the command line. You just copy git remote, add origin. You copy this file. That's it. Then if you click enter, that is done because we are just making it, we are just starting its position from working area to staging area, and now we'll move this from our current directory to your repository. That's where you need to go for push. See, git push, user is the origin, and what is your name? Because origin is the one which is the master, it will be pushed to online. Git push, user, origin, master. You can see the files moving. Delta compression using to HTTP. These files are moved. Branch master set up to track remote branch master from origin. Is it done? First add them, commit them, then git remote. You're adding these files to that remote location. If you're not having git command not found, that means git is not installed properly. You need to check it out. Is it done? You need to see this master setup to track remote branch master from origin. That means your files are successfully dumped. That's where you're using push. You just go with the English words. Now, if I copy this and if I paste it online, let's see whether it will work or not. I'll go for saket-26.github.io. So let's Go for it. You just copy the last thing, your username .github.io. You just copy that thing and you go to online and you just paste it. See, it's how your profile has been built. Your name, your resource, your contact number, your mail ID, whatever the research you gave, and whatever your fields. You just go to the command prompt, you just git push /-u origin master. That means your whatever the remote things you are added, so in anywhere you can see this file, because I gave saket-26.github.io. Even it is HTTPS, it is secure. You can make your profile visible. If you are getting 404 error, that means the changes are being made. You should have proper internet connection. Every connection should work out. Did you get this? Your profile online. If you are getting 404 error, make sure you give username.github.io/index.html. How many of you have got this thing? Your profile online. See, wherever I can see, I can go to incognito mode also. I can see and I can have my profile. I hope you can see. It is still loading over there. See? And you can also go for mobile version. So it is pretty much cool. You can see it is pretty ordered. First thing is you need to go for initialization in that folder, and you need to git add dot so that all the files will be added. Your name.github.io. That's it. It will open your profile. Whatever the content you have in HTML file, that will be visible online. You need to go for first adding those files. Then you should see the status, git status. Those will be in red color. You need to make them commit. Yes, you can open that username.github.io. You can see it in online, that is responsive. You can open it in mobile also. That's how you can project your things. If you want to make some changes also, yes, that's how. If you want to make some changes, you can also simply make these changes. I'll answer. We are about to wind off this thing. You made copyrights, C capital, R capital, and what you need to do again, you need to first add them, because the status will be, if you see the status, see, you have modified the HTML file. You need to add them, git add, and you need to commit, because you have made some changes. What is your change? Changed small to caps. That's what you want to see. That's it. Changes are made, then you need to push directly. Git push origin master. Yes, that changes will be done. Yeah, the thing is probably now the thing which we are doing it here, why we are doing it online, your recruiter or someone may not make sure that if you are having GitHub as your profile link also, that means you are something like you are a step ahead of others. You are making your digital things instead of carrying everything in paper. If something like, if you want to show them in your mobile, you can show your own, you can show your own blog, how we are working, what are your skills and everything. So a resume is mandatory. You can add any number of pages, you can add any number of context, and you can see the changes which we have done will be replicated over here. See, I made C capital, R capital, that has been dynamically changed. And how we can understand these changes, you can refresh your GitHub repository. See, these are the changes which we have made. You can see first commit, changes to small caps, and you can see what are the things which we have changed. See how many commits we have changed. The code is online, and you can see all those changes which you have done. Yep. So that is how you can make your profile visible online with the help of simple things. With the help of just push. First thing is you need to make sure that if they are making it public, then you can make your resumes visible. So remote is something like we are giving out your link, and you can also clone them. You can just go for those links and you can fork them. You can see all those things. Yes, is it clear? So 404 error, that means your page is still loading. You clear your cache and you can see the content visible on the page.